Mr. Ngiam Thong Dao, NUS Pro-Chancellor, Professor Tan Chua Chuan, NUS President, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. It is indeed an honor and privilege for me to be standing here today to address on behalf of the class of 2011 this distinguished audience, including our family, our teachers, and our friends. It is hard to believe that we have already spent 4 years of our lives at NUS. I am sure that all of us have our own share of memorable events and experiences. Among these experiences, one that I recall with particular fondness is camping out in Com 1 with my buddies Dio, Edward, and Huay Lian, struggling to complete assignments and projects during my freshman year when I took the Facebook class. Dio will be with SoC for another semester, while Edward and Huay Lian are from other faculties. I'm sure that many of you have spent your share of sleepless nights and have also, in similar ways, formed friendships or perhaps even found someone to share your life with, as I have with my girlfriend Vern. Today is a recognition of our graduation, and it is also a celebration of these friendships. May we continue to treasure and nurture them as we go forth into the world beyond NUS and pursue our individual aspirations. Looking back at my life before arriving at NUS, I have to admit I was not the most diligent student and showed little interest in my studies. For me to have come this far, much of the credit must go to my parents for motivating me and never giving up. I'm certain that my situation is not unique. In this light, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our parents for their perseverance, love, and devotion. It was only after coming to NUS that I started to enjoy learning and started to push myself. I have no doubt that this transformation is a direct result of the fantastic learning environment I found here at SoC. In addition to taking classes, I had the opportunity to tutor for CS1101S programming methodology in Scheme. Together with Ali, Yuanho, and Z, who are graduating with us today, I had the chance to realize how rewarding and at the same time how difficult it is to teach. Teaching has helped me appreciate what many of our professors has done for us, even though they are directly or indirectly responsible for our all-nighters at Com 1. On this day, it is thus appropriate for us to convey our gratitude to you, our lecturers, our professors, our mentors, for guiding us and being a source of inspiration. Thank you. We also cannot forget our administrative staff who work tirelessly in the background to make our stay at SoC a pleasant one. Thank you for putting up with us. For 4 years, we spent endless nights in Com 1 finishing up assignments and projects to get good grades. As I was thinking to myself that all-nighters are now a thing of the past, folks older and wiser have told me otherwise. I will not be escaping from having to work through the night just yet. This caused me to think, as students we stayed up to get good grades, what reason could we possibly have to pull an all-nighter at work? This brings me to the story about my experiences in the Facebook class, where we spent many nights camped out at Com 1. Most of you are probably familiar with the popular Facebook game FarmVille. In case some of our parents are not, FarmVille is this virtual farming game where people worldwide spend a third of their time online growing and harvesting virtual vegetables. This might sound strange, but it makes its distributor, Zynga, $1 million every day. It turns out that before FarmVille, there was FarmWars. FarmWars was the game that Dio, Edward, Huay Lian, and I created as the class project. By the end of the semester, we had some 13,000 players. This was 1 year before FarmVille came to existence. Perhaps in an alternate universe, I would have maintained that project, dropped out of school, and run a billion-dollar company instead of speaking to you today. Clearly, that did not happen. Some of you might consider this a failure, a lost opportunity, and for a while I did too. However, after thinking about this, I've come to a slightly different conclusion. One of the things my professor, Ben Leong, has impressed upon me over the past 4 years is that instead of spending our efforts and pulling all-nighters to make more money, it might be worthwhile to consider if we can instead channel these energies into solving society's problems and creating value for those around us. I thought about whether I would consider myself successful if the most popular game on Facebook were FarmWars and not FarmVille. Then I realized that FarmVille is perhaps the biggest time sink on earth since the invention of drama serials. Angry Birds is probably a close competitor. So, as we take our first steps into the world, it will be natural to strive for wealth and material success. However, before we do that, if we would just take a look around us, we will notice that we are among the most fortunate in our society. There are many who are struggling to make ends meet, and others who are facing challenges every day due to old age or physical disabilities. Many youngsters are exposed to society's ills or perhaps come from broken homes. They will never graduate from college like you and I. Fortunately, there are good people who labor tirelessly to serve others. They are the volunteers, the social workers, the nurses, and the teachers. I'm also reminded about Yuan Ho and Chun Lin, who use their skills they have acquired from SoC to serve others. They each spent a summer vacation building IT systems for voluntary welfare organizations. These folks are doing things of value. As we pull all-nighters in our future workplace, we might ask ourselves, what difference do we want to make with the time we spend? Do we want to create value for society? Or do we want to create another blockbuster time sink that can make lots of money? Do we want to create products like Google Documents that revolutionize how people work? Or do we want to create products that help people waste their time more efficiently? Sadly, we now live in a world that does not always reward value. More often than not, we find that the wealthiest enrich themselves by stealing, in large or small proportions, the value created by those who work hard. Still, I urge you to see beyond all this and take pride in creating value. To conclude, I'd like to quote two of my favorite movies. From Spider-Man, great powers comes great responsibility. On the other hand, the anti-hero superhero Kick-Ass says, with no power comes no responsibility. Except that wasn't true. Indeed, we have a responsibility to our families, our friends, and our society, whether we have powers or not. As graduates of SoC, we are not only fortunate to be able to take home our degrees today, but we have also been equipped with the necessary skills to make a difference. As we pull our next all-nighter at work, I hope we will not forget to ask this question: what difference am I making with this? Together, we can endeavor to add value to our society in our own ways and to view success at a deeper level than merely material riches. Thank you.